Good day, good evening, everyone. Welcome at long last. My name is Davey Valentine, and this is our exclusive interview with the one and only Angela Anderson, the voice of Feena and Aunt Lily. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on down. Welcome, everyone watching live on Twitch, and shout out to all you beautiful people watching it on YouTube later on. Okay, let's not mess about. I've got a phone call to make to Feena.
Hello.
Hey, Angela, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Davey?
Awesome. I'm doing great. Welcome. Thank you so much for doing this. We are live right now on the Twitch. I don't know if you're watching on the chat.
I am.
That is awesome. Wow. Okay. Chat, can I just get a confirmation that you guys can hear us okay? Let's just do a quick mic test if that's okay, Angela. Just 1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Can you guys hear everything okay? Is she too quiet? Am I too quiet? Am I okay to tell people which Twitch name is you?
I am Evil Queenie Me.
Awesome. All good? Yeah, she sees you guys. That's why I made brand new rules for everyone in the chat. Nah, don't worry. They're a good bunch. They're a real good bunch, these guys. Okay, well, I believe everyone can hear us okay. So let me just get my interview list up right here. And let's get right into it. Okay. So this is what I like to start with for everyone. Just a broad one. Just how did you get into acting in the first place?
Well, it's kind of a family business. My dad was involved in movies and theater a lot of his life, and so kind of it was easy for me to follow along.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I know you mentioned it's like a family business because I found you through like you and your husband have like some sort of theater group. Is that right?
Yes, we founded a company called Laughing Owl Productions, which was performing theater that was considered like great works of literature. And we also toured children's theater to low income schools in our area here.
Oh, that's real cool. That's real nice. So like, did you always like want to be in acting? Did you like major in theater when like did you go to college for it?
I did not go to college for it. It's all been life experience. Um, like I said, my dad was involved. I was raised in a theater in Stockton, California, that was the Palace Showboat Dinner Theater, and a lot of people have a conception of the United States as Wild West, and so there was a area in Stockton that they actually had a ghost town set up and a melodrama and vaudeville theater, and so they would recreate those kind of performances from the Wild West days, and so I was going out there every weekend from the time I was like 2 years old. And then when I was 12, I got to be actually in my first shows out there.
What was your first show?
My first show there, what the melodrama part was The Drunkard or The Fallen Saved, which is one of the original melodramas. And the second half was called The Heyday of Vaudeville. And so it was all singing and dancing and skits from the vaudeville original era.
Oh, that's cool. Someone Scoop in the chat is saying they remember the theater you're on about, the one with the chicken restaurant. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, exactly. The Chicken Kitchen, Pollardville. That's
Damn.
exactly right.
Chicken brings everyone together, right? Wow. So I'm trying to like do this chronologically, like building up to how you got into Grandia. So I just want to try and like do everything pre Grandia first. So Was Grandia your first voice acting role, or had you done voice acting before?
That was my first and only voice acting.
First and only voice acting, yeah. Because I've got people telling me, like, yeah, her IMDb page only has Grandia on it. And I'm like, but so are some of the other actors and actresses, and it turns out they've actually been in more. Don't always trust IMDb, guys. So, did you have an agent, like, before Grandia and that, like?
Um, no, I didn't have my own agent, but it was an agency that contacted me.
Oh, okay. So I guess we're getting up to like the point of like, say, how did you land the job in Grandia?
Um, I was a part of another theater company in town called Bruca Theater. And there was a new casting agency that was from the Bay Area that was opening another branch here. And so they had made calls, I think, to other local theater companies saying that they had this gig that if anybody was interested in auditioning for it.
Oh, that's real cool. Like, did they tell you much about the gig? Like, did you know it was a video game? Did you know what it was called?
Yes, they said it was for voice acting for a video game.
All right. But they didn't say like whether it was like an RPG or what type of game or anything like that.
No.
Oh, okay, so kind of broad spectrum. That's interesting that you say like like the Wild West, because I think you could sort of argue that Feena is sort of a little bit of a like Wild West sort of girl. She like lives in a tent by herself, like very much like raised herself, like well her and her sister I guess. But so yeah, that kind of I can see how like your story sort of fit into that role. Actors find the roles that suit their story, right? So
Yeah.
that's really
Sort of.
cool. So, did you like sort of start as one character? Because obviously you're Feena and you're Aunt Lily. So did you like
Yeah.
go in as one and then become two?
Yes. So the audition was all over the phone. Um, they sent over some sides to read for different characters, and we did the audition over the phone. And then I was told later that I was chosen for Feena.
I know I'm asking you to cast your mind back 25 years here, but do you remember the audition? Do you remember at all what lines you were asked or anything like that?
I don't remember the exact lines from the audition.
Oh, fair, but I was like, damn, wow, you just laughed then, and you sounded just like Feena. I don't know if the chat will back me up there, but that, wow. That I literally just felt like, whoa, am I actually talking to Feena? That blew my mind there. Sorry, fanboy moment. There's going to be a few of them. So you were told you got the role of Feena. How did you end up becoming Aunt Lily?
When I got there and read through all of Feena's lines and got that part of the recording done, then they asked if I would mind reading for Lily as well. And so then I did those lines as well.
Did again? It doesn't bother me, but did anyone say, isn't it kind of weird that she's Justin's his love interest and his mum? Like, are we really gonna do this? Like, I mean, it works. Don't get me wrong, it works, but.
Well, I guess they figure that there's enough time that passes between meeting Lily first and then meeting Feena that you wouldn't realize it's the same person. And they did slightly lower, like auto-tune my voice for Lily. It is just slightly deeper, I noticed, for that one.
Oh yeah, well they had to change it a little bit, right? There is actually, and it was you that reminded me of this when I contacted you. Actually, you are also the voice of the Grandeur at the beginning of the game. For those that don't know what I'm saying, it's that voice that goes, "The current time is 15:30 hours." How did you end up doing that as well?
Again, it was just another extra thing. I think they were like, oh, hey, we need somebody to do this as well. So here, read it.
You were just like, well, I'm the love interest and the mom, may as well.
I'm the robot.
Because if you listen very well, it is clearly Feena just robotized, like, but you don't realize, because I think the way that Game Arts did it, they were very clever. Anyone who voices more than one character, those characters are never in the same scene together. For instance, Feena never meets Lily. you know,
Right.
and so you never get a chance to listen to them back to back, you know. You have to go back and really listen.
Yes,
But
exactly.
yeah, it's really cool. So would you say when you were auditioning, I know we've already gone through this, this is for the sake of, you know, the fans listening here, would you say you were more naturally Feena or Lilly at the time?
At the time, naturally Feena, because that's just my voice.
Yeah. I mean, you still sound like Feena, absolutely. Like, so, like you're the third person I've interviewed, and everyone can still do their voices like that. Like, it's crazy. Like,
Well, now I feel like because I am Lily's age now, I feel like and a mom, so I do have that mom tone as well.
okay, well, if you don't mind, let's have a little bit of fun here. Like, do you want to try and do like a Feena line, and then maybe try and do like a Lily line?
Sure.
All right. I know that this is one of your favorite ones to record, and I'm going to ask you about how you recorded it. But you know the line I'm going to say. Could you give us a? I'm saying this.
I know what you're already saying.
Could you say it, please?
Davey, you pervert!
I didn't know you were going to say my name before you were going to say Justin. Oh god, people are going to clip that. You perverts. And then I think Lily only really has like one spoken part. I think she's like, "Hey Justin." I think she goes like, "Hey Justin."
Hey, Justin!
No dirty shoes in the kitchen.
How many times do I have to tell you? No dirty shoes in the kitchen.
Spot on. Absolutely
Thank you,
spot
thank
on.
you.
Spot on. You could go in and do it right now. But that is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. Like, again, sorry for the fanboyness. Remember, I'm doing this on behalf of everyone who's listening. Like, okay, so the recording process. I know that you've got a few fun stories that you'd like to tell us. So, do you want to I'm just going to hand the floor to you for a minute. Could you just give us some funny stories of when you were recording for Feena?
um, well, the whole I would say I was kind of a fangirl going in just that I had never done it before, and I'm going into this, professional studio and everything, and I meet the people that are doing the sound and things, and they're like, okay, here's your script. Do you want some water? Let's get you some water. I'm like, no, I'm good. So I actually did the whole recording thing with no water either for the 2 hours time I was in there. And anybody that knows anything about voice acting, yes, you need water.
Yeah.
That was important.
Funny you say that. One of your castmates, Sharon Coleman, the lady who voiced Liette and Milda, she said when she had to do Milda, who's like really tough and shouty, she went through like 4 liters of water just doing it that day. So yeah, well, yeah, I totally get what you mean. You need water. That's great. So you did all the Feena stuff with no water.
No. So by the time I was probably pretty dehydrated.
So, what was this about a scream? You said there was some. For those that want the context, you guys know when they fall. I think when the Justin, Rap, and Feena are like up in space, and then Liette sends them back down to Earth, and they're all like, "No, not like that." You were asked to do a scream, and what happened?
So, they don't give you a whole lot of context, with the fight noises and everything. They just give you a list of fight sounds, the hey, yeah, and you just go through each one.
Yep.
And they record it. You do it like 3 times or 5 times each. So then they're like, okay, now we need you to scream. And I was like, okay. Just scream?
I'm sorry, Angela, could I just, sorry to interrupt you right there, for something weird is going on here on my laptop. Give me a second here. I think something's trying to play by itself. Just give me 1 second here, sorry. Sorry about this, people. Give me 1 second. What the heck? What is going on here? One second, guys. some reason that's General Bull's theme coming in.
What's
1 second, like some guy's trying to like call me or something. Hold on, let me just add him in the chat. 1 second here. Yo, who is this?
Hello. Hello, is there anyone there?
Yo, who is this?
Why, Davy, I am Ball.
What? General Bull, we killed you. How are you here?
The power of the Spirit Stone is limitless.
What?
I shall always return. Oh, Gaia, grant your boundless energy to me.
What? What the heck is going on? Okay, newsflash everyone. Apparently General Bull is still alive. What the heck? Sorry about that, Angela.
Quick, grab the Spirit Stone.
Oh my god. What the heck was that? We'll go back to that screaming story in a minute, but maybe now would be a good time to like bring up a different question here. Hold on. Let me bring up a different question. Do you know anyone else on the Grandia cast? Did you get a chance to meet anyone?
Well, yes, actually. Scott Beers was actually the person that ran and founded the theater company that I was a part of at the time of getting the gig for Grandia.
Wow, and Scott Beers, he's the voice of Guido and General Bull, right?
That's right. And he was also my roommate at the time and practically my brother.
Wait a minute. You're telling me Feena and General Bull were living together?
In separate rooms.
Oh yeah, obviously. I didn't mean it that way. No. Oh wow.
Plot twist.
Yeah, so everyone who you know how I kept hinting there was a surprise? That was your surprise. Okay, everyone, there was your surprise. And so I'll just give people a little story here. So I contacted Angela, and as soon as I contacted Angela, she said, "Oh, I also know Scott Beers," and I was like, "You what? Have I got a 2-for-1 deal here?" And it's like, "Yep." Put me in contact, and yeah, so there we go, guys. And thank you so much for putting me in touch with him, by the way, Angela. Really.
Sure. He's amazing.
Okay. Let's get this interview back on track. I'm so glad that actually worked as well as it did. I was so worried that wasn't going to work. Okay. So the scream. So the falling back to earth, the scream. What happened?
So they just told me just scream. They didn't give me any kind of high, low, long, short. So I was like, "You just want me to scream?" And they're like, "Yeah, just scream." So I did the longest, loudest, blood-curdling roller coaster horror movie scream that anyone could do, because they just said scream. And the two people doing the sound had to throw their headphones off and slam the speakers off. And kind of gather themselves back together. And we're like, that's not exactly what we meant. But wow.
Yeah, because there's a few times where I'm pretty sure the scream that they were asking for was when they were falling to earth. Because that I can see needing like a general scream. The only other time Feena screams is if she dies in battle, and that's like, okay, I'm gonna butcher this.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, did they tell you? Oh yeah, this is your death scream when you did a death scream.
No.
All right, I've heard that because obviously, like, have you ever actually played the game? That's a good question.
Yes.
You have.
We actually everybody got a free copy of the game.
That
And
I'm aware, but no one else I've talked to so far had a PlayStation. They didn't have a PlayStation to play it on.
we actually bought one to play the game.
Oh wow! Oh, you got to tell us about this. Sorry, I'm jumping chronologically here, but you know this happens with interviews. So please tell us about your first playthrough of Grandia. Have you only done one? Have you done multiple?
I've played through the game a couple times. Yeah. Um, yeah, it was a blast. It's a great game. It was a lot. But then hearing myself, half the time I'm like, oh my goodness, really? That's how they edited it, and that's what I sound like.
Yeah, I can imagine there's a bit of cringe, like
There's quite
like
a bit of
when she
cringe,
retreats, she
especially in
just says
the
like
romance scene too.
It's crazy, like because there's so many, especially Feena's moves. And did you notice actually? Because if you got a copy of it on the PlayStation 1, correct?
Yes.
So that means you would have had the copy that had the bug that actually meant you couldn't do some of Feena's Icarian moves. You know, the magic that needs to be level 99 for certain levels.
I'm not aware of that.
There is one is the Tree of Life, and the other one is Time Gate, and they both got bumped up to 99 when they translated it to the PS1, and that was actually a bug. It wasn't supposed to be that hard, so it's like impossible. It takes years to get to level 99 magic. So I'll show you a video of that sometime, because you probably haven't heard them if that's the case.
Probably not.
Unless you've played, they fixed it when they did the remaster. They fixed that glitch. But in the PS1 version, yeah, there's like certain magic for Feena. I think it's Time Gate and Tree of Life that you can't learn, basically. Yeah, I'll show you that. Don't worry. All right, let me just get back to my list. Are we all okay for time here? We don't have any like time constraints or anything?
I'm fine here.
Awesome. Just want to check. If anything does come up, feel free to just say, if you need to pop off for a minute, do feel free. Okay, so you get in there. Oh, I know, here's a good one. So the recording process. Were there any like scenes that got recorded that actually ended up not getting put in the game?
Yes, there was a final Lilly scene that was supposed to be at the very end when Justin is returning home and he reunites with his mother.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So that's like 10 years later, because obviously there is a scene obviously this is spoiler alert, but then you guys probably know this is a Grandia interview after all, but yeah. At the end, obviously, it's 10 years later and Sue's growing up. So there was meant to be another scene where Justin goes home to his mum.
Yes.
Do you remember what sort of thing you were saying?
I don't, it was just something about like, oh, my son's returned. I missed you, my little troublemaker. It was recreating those kind of lines.
Yeah. Did they ask you to like add 10 years to your voice?
Yes. So they said, okay, this is Lily as an old woman. They didn't tell me it was 10 years. They just said, this is in the future and Lily's an old woman. And mind you, I was 19 or 20 at the time of recording. So my perception of what an old woman was apparently was a little old British woman. And it was like, oh, Justin, welcome home.
It was only 10 years, not 30 years. Jesus. Lily wasn't that old. She looked quite young, right?
My little troublemaker.
Aha. Thank you, Zexy, in the chat for mentioning the goodbye letter. Thank you for reminding me. You'll know this scene because you've played the game, obviously. Don't you think it's a shame that the goodbye letter that Lily writes isn't voiced? When Justin reads it before he gets on the steamer?
Oh, yeah.
Would you be up for voicing that sometime? Not right now.
Sure.
But... Ooh.
I need a copy of it.
Oh, don't worry. I'll script the whole thing out for you. No problem. I'll do that. Chat, would you guys like that if we maybe made that happen sometime? We'll make that happen sometime down the road. Don't worry. I got plenty of ideas. Okay. I have a good question here. If you've played the game, this is for me. So me and my best friend, we're like mad about the game. Obviously, he always teaches Feena whip moves, and I always go with the knife. What do you go for, Angela?
Well, of course, my favorite is Oh, flame, burn 'em!
That's magic. That's burning magic. That's fire magic, isn't it? Oh wait, but no,
It's a
you
fire
fire
whip.
flame whip.
Yeah.
So you're a whip. You play with the whip. Oh, he's never gonna let me forget that one now. Oh man, fine. I guess it is kind of cool, and you get zap whip if you go with the whip route. I just prefer the knife; it's faster. Judge me, people. Judge me.
You're so being judged right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. So obviously, so you knew Scott. So had he already gotten? You said like he was the one in charge of this new like casting agency that was just opening up a new place near where you were. That correct?
No, he was in charge of the theater company that
Oh right.
I was working for.
Oh okay. So he was like essentially like your boss.
Yes.
Oh okay. But
He was
obviously.
a boss then too.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize. I thought you guys were more like colleagues. I didn't realize like he was like the boss. But I guess he is the general, right?
Yeah.
Like, so did he? Was he the one? Like, was he like giving? So I take it he's the one who recommended you for the role.
Yes. Yeah. So he got the call about it originally, and then brought a bunch of us together to do the audition at the theater company here in town.
All right, that's cool. Do you remember like who else was there at the auditions? Like, were you the only person who got picked out of that audition group, or do you know like multiple people there ended up being on the game?
Well, it was myself and Scott.
Oh, okay. From that whole audition group, it was you and Scott that got picked.
Yes. It wasn't a huge group. There was I want to say there was like 5 of us.
Oh, okay. I'm only asking because, obviously I'm trying to track down the entire cast, and some of them, especially Justin and Gadwin and Rap, those 3 are ridiculously hard to try and find. But, well, no one's easy. Don't not making it sound easy, but yeah. But that's okay. Hey, at least you knew Scott. Like that was an absolute win. Okay, so when it came to actually recording, were you allowed any creative input? Like, were you ever allowed to like look at a line and say, that doesn't seem right. Could I say like this word instead?
No, you couldn't because they already had the texts built into the game. So you had to say the lines as they were.
Ah, okay. Yep, that does make sense. Do you recall any lines that were like very particularly difficult to do?
Probably the romance part of it, just because it was so cheesy.
Of course, you mean when they're on the boat, right?
Yes.
So, did you not? I take it you didn't get to meet the guy who played Justin?
No.
Did you even were his lines like read back to you over a speaker or anything like that? How was that scene done without it being both of you together?
So no other lines were done. It was just my lines written out, and I just had to read each one multiple times and with no kind of context in between.
Oh, okay. Well, you did a brilliant job because it sounds like, really natural. I mean, it is very cheesy, but, JRPGs kind of, especially 90s JRPGs, they're kind of like that,
Yes.
So, were you aware, obviously this was for the PlayStation release, I don't know if you know, but the game obviously originally came out on the Sega Saturn in Japan. Did you know that the game had already come out, like it was already a Japanese game?
No.
Oh, okay, but they did notify you when it came out on PlayStation. They sent you a copy. Were you like invited to anything like with Game Arts were the company that made it at the time? Were you invited to like a release party or anything like that? Was there any sort of thing like that?
No, it was very quiet.
Ah, fair play. Were you notified at all that the game got remastered and re-released for the Switch and Steam about 3 years ago?
I was notified by my oldest daughter about it last October.
Oh, okay.
she bought a Nintendo Switch and said, "Look what I got, Mom," and then sent me a video of Feena and Lily. I think it was a Lily scene. And I'm like,
Wow.
what? People still play that?
Yeah. Oh yes, a lot of people still play that. I cannot imagine what it must be like playing Grandia and having your mum be Lily. Like, mind blown. And only she has that. She's the only person in the entire world that gets to have that experience. That's mind blowing.
Well, her and my other two kids.
Oh, of course, of course. So your kids know about Grandia? Like, did they play it when they were younger and that?
Yes. Yeah, they played it when they were old enough.
Oh, that is cool. That is really cool. Okay, so that's like the Grandia portion. And don't worry, everyone in the chat. I see we will be getting to the fan question parts. Don't worry, that is in the list. Don't worry. So after you recorded this, what sort of direction did your career take after Grandia? Did you like stick with Scott and the theatre company? What did you get up to?
I love this comment from I Will Scoop. Justin is as elusive as his woman skills. It's true. It's true.
He is.
Yeah, life kind of happened around just not long after. I'm trying to remember the timeline. If my oldest daughter was actually born then, or I think she came after that. And then I have 3 kids altogether, so there wasn't a whole lot of performing and stuff. It was kind of sporadic in that time afterwards.
Okay, like did you like become like sort of a stay-at-home mom, or did you go into a different career?
Well, no, I still was working more like behind the scenes theater kind of thing, and then I'm in Reno, which is all hospitality, so I still do hotel work as well.
No kidding, I worked in hotels for a few years.
Yeah,
it's a decent gig, if you can get
definitely.
in a good place. So what sort of stuff? What were you like waitressing or like receptionist or?
I do front desk work, so I check everybody in and check them out.
Feel free to link that hotel into the chat, because I have a feeling you're going to get a hell of a lot of bookings all of a sudden.
That would be the Peppermill Casino Resort in Reno, Nevada.
Oh, it's a casino as well.
Yes.
I'm packing my bags. I'll catch you later, guys. Wow, that's crazy.
Yes, come meet Feena at the front desk.
You could sell that. People would buy it. People would sell it. The Feena experience. Let's organize it, guys. Come on, everyone chip in a tenner.
Lily will hit you upside the head with a frying pan.
People will pay for that. Probably not in a good way, but... Oh, wow. That is crazy. That is crazy. And, oh, yeah, speaking of which, if you feel, if you want to self-promote whatsoever, you want to, like, put in what you're doing, or stuff about your acting troupe, if you want to post any of them links in the chat, go right ahead, Angela. People would love that.
All right. At this point right now, due to the pandemic, our theater company is kind of, it's on a hiatus right now, which is kind of sad. But hopefully we'll be back once things are more back to normal.
Yeah. Well, I usually like to ask this, even though I know it's a bit of a negative question, but how did the pandemic and that like affect you, like personally? Obviously, you just said the acting troupe go down. How did you get through it?
One day at a time, knowing that it wouldn't last forever. Didn't think it would last this long, but just trying to keep a positive attitude and doing what I could to just help others as well, and know that we were all kind of in this together. Absolutely.
Well, I tell you what, if you ever wanted to start like a Twitch channel, like watch Feena play Grandia, people would watch that. People would love that. 100% people would love that, and I'd gladly help you set that up. Like, all right, let's say so. So yeah, you said your career, you're focusing more like behind the scenes stuff. But you're still out in Reno and all of that. Did you ever met anyone famous? Any like little bragging rights?
Oh, well, actually, for bragging rights, I could say I was in a show with Jeremy Renner before he was famous. That would be at Pollardville.
The name rings a bell. Who does he play again?
Oh, who does he play? Let's see. Hawkeye in the Marvel movies.
I'm not a huge
He
Marvel
was
fan, but I
nominated for
get
the
people in
Oscar
the
for The
chat.
Hurt Locker.
In who in the Hurt Locker?
He was nominated for an Oscar for The Hurt. Was it The Hurt Locker? Yeah.
Wow, that's real cool. That's real cool. Yeah, I'm not a huge Marvel guy, but I guarantee there's a lot of people in the chat that are. That's really cool. Anyone else?
I met Scotty from Star Trek.
Awesome.
Trying to think who else. That's those are the biggest ones I can think of right now.
That's okay. I know I'm putting a lot of this on the spot because, you know, for those that don't know, I do give a list to people that I interview, but I do deliberately, like, you know, leave out certain questions so that we have, like, more of a fresh experience. Because I didn't want to, like, script it.
Yeah.
So this one, I just want to know, and feel free if when I ask about Superbad, you don't have to answer. But could you give us any really, really good standout experiences in your acting career, like behind the camera or in front of the camera? What if I said to you, what was your most favorite memory?
Gosh. Well, Grandia is high up there, definitely. The other, I was in one of the Kit Kat girls in Cabaret here locally, which was an amazing experience. I don't know if people know the show Cabaret out there, but it takes place in Berlin right before World War II.
Yeah. Oh, that's
so
cool.
That was, and then recently, probably I was in a Carol Churchill play called Top Girls, and that was an amazing experience too. It was kind of about a woman's life in the 80s, trying to rise up the corporate ladder, which at that time was still a struggle for women.
Yeah, and were you starring in that, or what sort of role did you have?
Yes, I had the lead role in that.
Wow, that's awesome. Are there any like videos or recordings exist of any of this stuff?
There is not. No.
Oh, that's a damn shame.
Well, you missed out. No.
I'll write a play just to see you act again, alright? Don't think I won't. Like...
No, the other thing that I love to do is I love to do costuming for shows as well. And there have been some youth theater productions here in town through Sierra School of Performing Arts. And that I was lucky enough to do their costuming for. And that
you design the costumes and put them all together?
Yes.
Wow, that's really cool. Because Blaney Aikman, the person who voiced Sue, she has a handbag design company, funnily enough. I need to get you guys together. Right?
Yeah.
Get a dress and a dress made by Feena, handbag made by Sue.
There you go.
Get a pan made by Aunt Lily. Away you go. Like,
cookware line, yes.
I'm telling you, they'll sell. Like, I'll just give you an instance of like how popular. The thing about Grandia. Okay, it's not like as super popular as, like, say, Final Fantasy or anything like that. But the people that really love it to death. It is got such a fan cult following. So even literally last month, a store in Japan started reselling like Grandia memorabilia and physical copies of the game to Western people. Like, you could order it. And it sold out in, I think it was like 2 days. Maybe like less than a week. Like, the fans just jumped on it, like, because I was going to get something, and then I, like, came back a week later, and then it had gone. I was like, God damn it. If anyone should know how popular this game is, it's me. But, yeah, so, like, any little thing like that, like, or even just an autograph copy or something like that, it'd sell like hotcakes. I've spoken to a couple of the other actors about maybe doing something for charity, maybe for the refugee appeal that's going on right now. I don't know if you'd be interested in maybe doing that down the road.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. We can talk about that, you know, offline, so to speak. Okay, next question. And then after this, we will be getting to quotes from fans and questions that I've been asked to ask. So anyone who's thinking of a question, there will be a time coming up soon where I'm going to ask you to put it in the chat. So get it ready, okay? Anyway, next question. Were you ever invited to reprise your roles of Aunt Lily / Feena?
I was not.
That's it. Are you aware of Grandia Digital Museum?
I am not.
It is a Japanese-only sequel on the Sega Saturn, and it's actually a direct sequel / spin-off of the original Grandia, and it actually has Justin, Feena, Sue, and Liette in it, I believe, as well as a few other guys. I know it has those 4, but it was in Japan only, so it never got voiced in English, unfortunately. Oh. But yeah, there was a sequel. Well, it's more of a spin-off. It's like a mini game thing, but it's I'll have to show you some screenshots because I know for a fact there is a mini game. I'm sorry, this is going to sound crass, but it exists. You know the scene in Feena's house. You know the little camp tent she has.
Yes.
You know when Justin accidentally picks up her panties?
Yes.
Yeah. There is a mini game on Grandia Digital Museum of Feena just trying to guard her panties from Justin and Sue, and she's like throwing apples at them.
Oh no. I
have to show you that. I will show you it.
Right.
Japan never stop being you. Okay. I've got a couple of quotes here and questions, just a couple that people have asked me to ask. So here we go. This question is from So0131, and they ask, have you ever met any Feena or Lilly cosplayers at conventions?
No, I haven't been to any of the cosplay conventions.
I
would love to see that.
Have you ever been to a Comic-Con or a gaming convention at all?
No.
Trust me, people do cosplay. People do love to cosplay as Grandia. As characters from Grandia. You can't cosplay as a whole game. Okay, next question is, this one's from Edward Falcon, and they say, since video game voice work was in its infancy back then in the 90s, what did you expect going into it as an actor?
I didn't have much of because again, it was still so new. I had no preconceptions of what it was, so every step of it was brand new for me.
Oh, that's really cool. Because yeah, it was a total Wild West back then, as far as voice acting in games. It was a really new thing. It is a shame that obviously in Grandia you do have voiced parts, but a lot of scenes don't have voices, just because there wasn't enough space. I mean, the game was on 2 discs as it was, which can't have been cheap for Game Arts. And yeah, there's so many scenes. I mean, obviously you played the game. One scene for me, the scene that really desperately needs voicing and doesn't, is when Sue leaves and she's saying goodbye to Justin and Feena. Did you, when you were playing that, did you not want to voice that as Feena?
Yes, definitely. That scene, that's the biggest tearjerker.
It is. That for me is the scene that always gets me. A lot of people say, and the music, the Farewell to Sue music is just whoa. It hits you right there, man. Well, who knows? Maybe someday down the road there'll be some chance for you to voice that. That's awesome that you feel the same way. Okay. I'm gonna need to explain the context of this before I ask you to do it. Okay. Did you get a chance to watch my interview with Blaney Aikman?
Yes.
All right. Now you know how we got her to say, "Come on, everyone, let's get pissed."
Yes.
Someone I know called Quill has made a request, and they sort of want Feena to do an answer to that. Are you up for doing that?
Sure.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so they've asked in Feena's voice, and I'll give you a minute. You take your time here. Feena to say, "Sweet, let's go get hammered, Justin."
Sweet, let's go get hammered, Justin. Right. Okay. Sweet, let's go get hammered, Justin.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, wow. Okay. let's throw it out to the chat. Okay, everyone in the chat, everyone live in the chat, this is your chance now to ask a question. So one question or just one statement per person, please. Oh my God, Angela's here. Wait a minute. No. Flipping,
Liete's here.
Yeah, Sharon. I couldn't think of her name. Sharon Coleman, voice of Liete's in the chat. California SA. Oh my God. Hey, Sharon.
I could have met you too.
That's awesome. Well, there's our first statement from a fellow fan. But yeah, okay. So one question or one comment from everyone, and obviously you can see the chat as well, can't you?
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, chat. This is your time to shine. We got hey Captain Riku. Welcome, she who holds the spirit stone. Yeah, we got everyone here. I already asked you. You weren't allowed to change any lines, were you? Oh no. Wait, did you do any like joke lines? Like, did you have any like funny like skits like while in the studio, like anything that you like fluffed on purpose or anything like funny like that?
No. I mean, the only one that, the whole Justin, you pervert, that one.
Yeah, did you look at that and you were like, do I really have to say this? Could you guys not give me some context? Did you know the context of that line?
No.
You were just left to wonder, like, I don't know what he's doing.
What is going on here? What kind of game is this?
That's cool. Yeah, Sharon has joined the party. Everything Feena voices is green. Yeah, this is your time, chat. Anybody wants to post any? Oh, here we go. Here's one. I will read this out. This is cool. Jed Mirror. Just wanted to express my gratitude hearing his voice on my birthday. Oh yeah, I knew it was someone's birthday. Do you want to?
Birthday.
That's awesome. I forgot it was someone's birthday. Yeah, you mentioned it on the Reddit. Sorry, I completely forgot. I can't overstate how much Grandia means to me. Playing it as a teenager molded me into a person I am now. It helped me stay strong during difficult days. It helped me realize what's truly important. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for bringing Feena and Lilly to life. You helped change my life, and I'm forever grateful for that. I wish you good health and a lot of happiness.
Thank you so much, and I wish the same for you as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I hope this really makes your birthday, Dreadmirror. I really hope so. That's really cool. That's it. You don't have to answer this because I know it's like, some people don't like talking about money. But do you remember how much you were paid? Someone is asking when you were voice acting about it. Was it like a flat fee or was it like by the hour?
It was one flat fee that was not very large. And it was just the one flat fee for going there. So I had to pay my own travel to get there. I probably broke even on it. Let's just say between the gas and the hotel and everything and coming back. Yeah,
well, that's pretty much what I've heard from everyone else. Yeah, no one was making money hand over fist here. Like,
that's cool just to say yes, I got paid for that.
Yeah. You, and obviously, it was a great experience. Now here we are, 25 years later, still talking about it. So, let's see what else. I'm just scrolling through the chat here, seeing if I can find anything here. And yeah, you already said you'd be happy to voice Feena again. We could talk about that maybe down the road. That's something actually. Do you know it's the 25th anniversary of Grandia's release this year?
Is that from the Japanese release or
the original? The original 1997 Sega Saturn Japanese release. That's 25 years this December.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything here, but let's just say, I got some dreams which have a habit of turning into plans, which have a habit of, well, they've come true so far, right, guys?
Or I should say, not bad, eh?
My God. Oh my God! I need to get you and if I could get you and Blaney and Sharon and Scott all in one stream, I wouldn't even have to say anything. I'll just be like, "Hey guys, just be in character. I'm just gonna sit here." Now I do have some ideas. but I haven't like decided on what yet. You know, I don't want to overwork you guys or anything like that, because I totally understand. Like, you know, you guys are doing this as a fan service. You know, I haven't paid any money for this, and so I'm totally grateful for whatever you do.
Oh wait, there's no pay? No, just kidding.
I can pay you in Davy coins, my Twitch currency. You can have all of them you want. Oh man. Right, I'm just looking at the chat here.
Well, I'll say that the comment by Dreadmere that just made it all for me.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, like, if you want to hear, like, I can tell you, like, for me, it's very much the same. I got Grandia, the PS1 version, when I was a kid. My mum actually picked it out for me. She just looked at the front cover and was like, that looks like the sort of thing you're into. And I remember looking at the front cover going, why are there 3 girls in this game? Because Justin looks really feminine on the front cover. Like, and it is a funny little anecdote for you, a little one for me. So my first ever time playing it, right, I got the game off the shelf, and the game store at the time had a little PS1 set up so you could try out a game. Brilliant idea, right, for a game like Tekken or something like that, where you can just load it up and have a go. Not so good for a game like Grandia that has a half-hour long intro.
Yeah.
So I was sat there for like 30 minutes, like through the Grandia intro, like, yeah, this is cool. Then I spent another 20 minutes not realising you have to talk to Gantz again before you can pick up the pot lid and the shield, to which there was a queue forming behind me like, are you buying the game or not? It's like, I don't know. It's an RPG. I haven't even gone into a battle yet. I don't know if I'll buy it. Fine, I'll buy it. Like, took me 6 months to figure out you had to talk to Gantz first.
Oh no.
The game doesn't make it clear, and I was like 7. Right?
Well, yeah, it really is. You know, you got to find your own way and do it.
It is. There's a good question actually. You know, that made me think of it. Do you remember getting stuck on your first playthrough anywhere, like on a certain boss or getting lost in a certain dungeon?
It has been a while since I've played it. Not in a particular place that I could think of. Probably one of the mazes in the caves.
Yeah, like the Dom Ruins is a classic one. That's like the first ruin that you go to with Feena in the party. Like, people get lost in there to this day, even like mega fans of the game.
Many rooms.
Yeah, well, there's Assault Ruins at the beginning, which is like just Justin and Sue, and then like you get to the Dom Ruins when you go to Ilencia, when you get to the new continent. I'm just going to look at the chat again, see if there's anything I'm missing. Just people saying like, yeah, you did a phenomenal job, Angela. Thank you so much for voicing Feena and Lily. Absolutely, I think we all feel that way.
Thank you.
Oh, we got another one here. Angela, I appreciate you taking the time, since Feena is one of my favourite game characters thanks to your voice work. My question is, have you ever encountered or played Grandia 2?
Grandia 2, I have not. That was one I didn't even know came out until I did hear about it a few years later, but I haven't played it. And I was originally under the understanding that it was the same characters. And I know Jodie Benson is a voice in that one. And then I was like, oh, she took my part. But of course she did. She's Jodie Benson. But then found out that it was not the same character. So.
Are you friends with Jodie Benson? This is probably a name I should know, and I don't.
Jodie Benson is probably most famous as the Little Mermaid, Ariel.
The Little Mermaid's in Grandia too. I didn't know. I mean, I'm very much focused on the first game, and then I'm going to get to the second game. But I didn't know that one. That's a bit mind blown. Wow, that's cool.
So she is the main female character in Grandia 2.
Well, there's actually 2 female characters in Grandia 2, and I think she does both of them, Millennia and Elena. I think the same voice actor does both those characters. Again, I'm not sure. This isn't my area of expertise. I'm very much... Grandia 1, I can tell you everything, but Grandia 2, it's like...
She plays Millennia.
Millennia is actually my favourite character in 2. But yeah, 2, the story, I remember getting it when I was younger, being like, yes, this is going to be awesome! And then I loaded it up and I was just like, where's Justin? Who's this? Who's Ryudo? Why doesn't this guy have any mouth? Why does no one have a mouth or a nose? What is going on? PS2 RPGs were the best, but yeah, Grandia 2 is really good game. It's just a shame that it's had to follow perfection, in my opinion. Like it was never going to be as good as the first one. Like, but it is a really good game.
That's usually how sequels are.
Yeah, so I sort of understand why they were like, yeah, let's do a new story and new characters and that, and it is still really good. Brilliant soundtrack, brilliant voice acting. It's actually got I don't know if you've ever played them, like the Metal Gear Solid games, but pretty much most of the voice cast of Grandia 2 is also Metal Gear Solid 2. Like literally, they pretty much picked all the same characters and the same actors. It's really strange how they did that.
Well, I'll say I wasn't as hurt that I wasn't asked to do Grandia 2, knowing it was different characters.
Yeah, I think they went. Well, it was I know Grandia 2 was definitely a full union job because they got like massive like actors for the most part. Grandia 1. Do you remember? Were you unioned at the time? Don't answer if you don't want to. When you did Grandia.
Not union.
Yeah, because I know that can cause issues. Like, for instance, like the voice of Gadwin is uncredited, doesn't have a name. Voice of Rap is John W. Wow, he's going to be easy to track down, isn't he? Yeah. And Justin, don't get me started on Justin. Snazen Smith, what sort of a name is Snazen? That is not a real name. So I'm looking forward to tracking those guys down. All right. Final little call here to the chat. Anyone with a statement or a question for Angela, this is your time to shine. And then I'll go back to my little list that I got here. I'm just going to scroll up here. Sorry, just bear with me. Yeah, that's right, Zexy. I can tell you everything in Grandia 1 except the optional dungeons. Do you remember the optional dungeons, Angela?
No, I don't recall those.
The Castle of Dreams, the Soldier's Graveyard, and the Tower of Temptation. I always skip them because I'm lazy, and everyone has a go at me. They're like, no, they're like some of the best part. Oh, here's a question. If the original cast were called to reprise their roles for the Grandia sequel Digital Museum, would you do so?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Pink, thank you so much for reminding me to ask that question. My mods are the best. So, I asked you, like, what was your best memory of, like, in the acting world? Again, don't answer this if you're not comfortable, but could you tell me, like, maybe one of your worst experiences? You got any, like, story where you're just, like, maybe some sort of, like, horror story or, like, warning story that you wouldn't mind sharing with us? Like, if I say to you, oh, yeah, like, that was bad, or this director sucked, or something like that. And again, it's okay if you don't want to answer.
I haven't had any like real terrible moments. I've had a few embarrassing ones.
Could you tell us about them?
Well, one of them I could say was from a show at Pollardville, and I was playing a little girl named Julia, and she just talked super duper fast, and her mom is supposed to get kind of annoyed with her and push her down in the chair to kind of shut her up and then walk away. Well, the person that was playing my mother set me down in the chair, but back too far on it. And so it was like a real slow motion rocking back and back.
Yeah.
Until the chair fell completely backwards on stage with my feet up in the air.
Oh, no. Damn. Well, that was like, what, in front of an audience of like how many?
About 250, 300 people, I think.
Oh, damn.
Yes. And well, the good thing about melodrama is you can ad lib. You don't have to stick to the script. And it's funny as well. So my mother went off stage and she didn't even know it happened because she had just left the stage, and then I'm supposed to continue with my speech. So
so what did you just luckily, get back up and start talking?
Yeah, luckily I was okay. And so I got up and I had my little doll. And I remember throwing it off stage at her, saying something about what a mean mom she was, and then kept going.
Well, that's cool. You like threw in your creativity kicked in. You just threw in an extra line. How old were you at this point?
Then I would have been about 12 or 13.
That's really clever for someone 12 and 13 to be able to kick in a bit of creativity there and just work with it, and it probably actually made the scene better,
And then probably another interesting story in my career is how I met my husband through Bruca Theater.
He was a Grandia fanboy, right?
Not at the time. So Bruca Theater started in downtown Reno in just like a regular high-rise building kind of thing. And it was just starting out. It had only been around a couple years. And I don't know, my dad was in the movies in the 70s, and knowing that I always liked to do theater and stuff like that, he always wanted to warn me about kind of the seedier side of getting in the business. And I don't know if people are familiar with what a casting couch is. So my dad warned me about, don't go into a building that's like a random suite. And he explained what the casting couch was to me. So when I had first moved to Reno, it was right out of high school, and I was looking for theater companies to become involved in. And I called all the local theater companies around, and Scott Beers was the first person that actually called me back and said that they were looking for a stage manager for their next show.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. I'd love to do that. I'll do anything. And so he gave me the address, which was in, like I said, in a building downtown, Suite 200. And so me, fresh out of work at my first real job here, I go downtown and I go into this building, Suite 200, and I look around, and the room is full of couches.
Okay. So at the time you're like, okay, what's going on here?
And then I'm introduced to Scott Beers and my husband, Dave Anderson, who, of course, wasn't my husband at the time. But yes, two guys in a suite, downtown, room full of couches. So that's always been my big joke of how I met my husband,
Wait, you're ending the story there? What happened next?
So the rest is boring after that. I took the stage manager job. I was with the theater company forever. Yeah. Nah,
I'm just kidding anyway. Chat, I'm really sorry.
I have 3 children, so
there you go. Chat, I must apologize. I let you just talk there, Angela. While you were talking, my phone actually crashed the Twitch chat. So anyone who's put a question in the past 10 minutes or question or statement that I haven't gotten to, could you please put it again? I do apologize. I have a very crud setup for what I'm doing here. Like, it's a miracle that I managed to broadcast at all. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. If you do have a question or a statement, please go ahead and put it in the chat now. And I'm just making sure I don't touch my phone. So I'm just going to look at these as they come in.
My husband's name is not Justin.
Nah, it's Dave. That makes me so happy. Oh, man. Is there an unvoiced line that you would like to have voiced in Grandia? Any that come immediately to mind?
I don't know. Give me one and I'll do it.
Well, for me, it would be the farewell to Sue, and I don't really want to get you crying here. Like,
Have I played any other RPGs besides Grandia? I don't know. Does The Legend of Zelda count as that?
Zelda's more of an adventure game, but you could say Zelda is a type of RPG, adventure RPG. Sure, yeah. What Zeldas have you played?
Played the original Legend of Zelda when I was a kid.
Like
I
on the
played that
NES?
Yeah, the original Nintendo.
Oh, that's cool. Did you ever get a chance to play Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo?
I did not. Once I
Oh.
got to Super Nintendo, I was into the Mario Brothers.
Oh, so like Super Mario World, yeah?
And those I played most all of those
Ooh. Ooh.
from the earlier days. Any of the new ones that have come out probably since 2000, I don't think I've played. But
Chat, what do you reckon? Should we play some Super Mario sometime with Feena? Obviously, you'd have to be Luigi because he's green, right?
There we go.
Right, I'm just scrolling through the chat, yeah. Do you play any modern games? Like, do you have like a PS4 or an Xbox or anything like that in the house?
No, I don't play any video games right now.
Do your kids?
My kids do. My son plays a lot. I know he does the streaming stuff. I think he does like the Grand Theft Auto and I don't know what other games he's playing right now, but he's still big on the video games.
No kidding. If he streams, tell him if he's on Twitch, tell him like to add me up. I'll definitely help him out. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Here's a good one from Scoop. What is your favourite production working at Laughing Owl? What kind of characters and a follow-on is what kind of characters do you like to play?
I love to play more of the off characters. Not so much, even though more of what I've done is like the ingenue roles. I do like the comic relief roles as well. We did a production of The Passion of Dracula, and I played Dr. Helga Van Zandt or something like that. And so that was a lot of fun because, she was just kind of over the top and ends up turning into a vampire. So
that sounds really
undead,
cool.
So that was a lot of fun.
So you like characters with a bit of teeth in them, like something interesting about them?
Vampire teeth. I see what you did there.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Totally didn't do that by accident. I am totally smart.
And I love doing the children's shows too. I love performing for kids. A lot of that has to do with my melodrama background, which is very interactive. Being able to bring live theater to the elementary schools was probably the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. That's
real cool. Dan, if you were to come to my school when I was a kid, I would have been like, is that Feena? I swear I know that voice. Because I'm not over-exaggerating when I say my mates were obsessed. We were all playing the game at the same time. We were all like going for it. We were like, hey, Justin learned this move. Oh my god. Hey, Feena learned this move called End of the World and it kills everything. Like, crazy.
As far as I know, my son has not thrown any cats over the fence. But, he is a little troublemaker, so it's possible I don't know about that.
I'm slowly scrolling through the chat. I think you're looking at chat as it's coming in. I'm actually still a bit behind so that I don't miss anyone. Quill mentioned a good line here that isn't voiced but was actually quite funny. You might remember from playing it. Do you remember when Feena falls and she exclaims, I landed on my fanny?
Yes.
Oh, do you think you could voice that? Do you think you could do that in a Feena voice just for a sec? You don't have to.
Oh, I landed on my fanny.
And now I'm going to give you the context of why that line was so funny for everyone in England. So, fanny means bum in America, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's not what it means in England. Means the front. We'll leave it at that. But let's just say me and my best friend playing that as a kid, we would not stop laughing. We were like, she landed on a what? Oh my god. Did you know there's actually a Mario RPG, Super Mario RPG, and it was on the Super Nintendo?
Was it Super Mario 2? That one I know you can play all the different characters.
No, that's different. It's called Super Mario RPG: The Quest for the Seven Stars. I'll send you a link to it down the road. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Are you aware of you're probably not, but I'll ask anyway. Are you aware of the Satellaview for the Super Nintendo? The extra Mario and Zelda games you could get for the Satellaview on that console.
No.
So Nintendo had this satellite that could beam extra games to certain Super Nintendos if you got a certain contraption, but I think they only released it in Japan. But now, in the future, people have downloaded the games, made English versions of them. Again, I'll show you all of that another time. And yeah, my best mate TJ, his chat keeps screwing up, unfortunately, but he just wants to express his gratitude and love for your work. Yeah.
Falconry Cam. I see
Falconry.
that.
Yeah, he's my best mate, and he's like my editor. He like helps me run the channel and that. And Feena was his first crush. I'm just gonna embarrass the hell out of him. Sorry, TJ. I had to, man. I had to. Okay. All right. Final call, I guess, for the chat. Anyone? Any questions? Any comments or anything they have for Angela? I can't keep her here all night. But I'm sure we'll do something else as well, like, down the road. If you're up for it. I'm definitely, well, obviously I wonder who I'm going to interview next. Whoever could it be? Well, the funny thing is, what I do is I clip these and I put them on YouTube, and then when I debut them on YouTube, that's when I reveal the next interview. I did that for this, and it worked really well. So I'm going to do that again, even though everyone's going to be like, I wonder who it's going to be. Someone else asked if there are any lines you'd really like to voice as Feena. Yeah, we asked. I think I definitely asked you that one. I think. Yeah. If there are any voice, there's loads of lines that really needed to be voiced. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me go back to my list here. Just see what I got here. This is a bit of a general question, but how do you feel about your work on the game? Hearing it now 20 years later, like, through me contacting you and sending you all of the clips, like, what sort of like feelings did it invoke? How do you feel about it?
Well, it was very cool because, again, I had no idea that it was this popular and that people love it. So that makes me feel really good. Obviously, listening to it now, I'm like, oh, I could have done that better. I could have done that different, or why did they use that clip and not another one? But yeah, I'm very grateful to the fans for still loving the game and being able to do this. This is very cool.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, this is mind-blowing to me as well. The fact, I don't know what's more mind-blowing, the fact that it's happening or the fact that I'm the one making it flip and happen. Like, if I think about it too much. I do anything for the fans, man. It's my favorite game. Like, it started on a whim, and honestly, it's really fun tracking you guys down. I enjoy stalking.
Not creepy at all.
I must. Do you mind if I tell people how I actually found you?
Go ahead.
All right. So I was Googling Angela Anderson. Like, as I do intense Googling of the names. And eventually it brought me to her acting troupe page, and I actually found her husband, Dave Anderson, and I was like, okay, well, I put Anderson and I put actor, so it's probably just Dave. And then I scrolled down, and then it said his wife, Angela. And I was like, hold up a minute. Hold up a cotton picking minute. And thank God in the description for you, I don't know who wrote your description, if it was you or your husband or someone, but they thought to mention, and has also worked in video games. And as soon as I read that, I screenshotted it, sent it to my mate TJ, he's my editor, and I was like, I think we found Feena. It's like, I think you have as well, Brav. It's bang. And then I sent a message to, this is probably the creepy part, and I do apologize. But I do it because I'm so scared of people missing my message if they really want to be contacted, but they just don't get my message. So I messaged Angela on Facebook. I messaged her husband. I messaged the production company. I think I might have messaged like a production friend, just because you never know if someone like has their messages turned off or if their privacy settings turned up or something like that. So I hope that was okay, like sending a message. I'm sure your husband was like, I got a message from this guy.
He says he's from the UK, but I don't know. He might be from Nigeria.
I try and not look, although I guess look at name, it's like Davey Valentine. That name does not sound real. Because it's not real. Well, my name is Dave. It is my real first name, but 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 it's genuinely fun, like finding you guys. And then when I messaged you, and obviously, and you said, "Oh yeah, I'm also friends with Scott Beers," I'm like, "What?" Because I swear down, I don't know why this is. This is not me being a creepazoid. This is just the fact. The women on Grandia are easier to find than the men. The men, I have had no luck whatsoever. Been trying to find Mullen. Been trying to find Greedo, obviously that is Scott Beers, trying to find Justin, trying to find Gavin, trying to find Rap, even trying to find the voice of Nicky, the little kid Nicky when you get to Cafu Village and he's like, help me. I've even tried to help finding that kid, so then when you said, oh yeah, I know Scott, I was like, yes, we found one of the guys.
Finally.
Oh man, that is so cool. And the fact that Scott was so cool about it. Just to give the chat an idea here of the amount of work that both me and Angela put into making that little snippet happen. So you've got Angela over there in America, you've got me 8 hours ahead in the UK, and then you've got Scott, who at the time I think you said he was in Israel. Is that correct?
No, he's in Mexico.
Mexico, and yeah, you got Scott in Mexico. So all of us are on totally different times, and so luckily we managed to make it happen. I'm so glad that little thing earlier pulled off about Hitch. I was so nervous that was gonna screw up or something.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing on your part to get all that.
That was easy. As soon as I had the idea, I was just like, that's great. The only thing I wish I could have seen was the look on everyone in chat's faces. Just something's going wrong. Oh no, don't tell me something's going wrong with the stream. Nothing was going wrong. I had it all in control.
All part of his evil plan.
Yeah. Well, it's Ball's evil plan. It's General Ball's evil plan.
Right, Ball, yes.
Yeah, I didn't come up with the idea whatsoever. That's a good question.
IT analyst on you, that's funny.
Yeah, it's actually what is a Grandia? Did they ever tell you that? Because that's actually a question that I'd like to know.
They did not. I just assume it's the one big adventure, right?
I always assume it was a shortening of Grand Idea. They put it into one.
Yeah.
But then it was a Japanese game, so maybe the guy spoke English? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not even the name of any of the areas, I don't think. Yeah. Grand Idea, Grand Adventure. I'd buy that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fun story here from Captain Riku. I have a legendary copy of Grandia. It's scratched in a weird way, where once I got to the ghost ship, it repeats. Groundhog Day style at the beginning of the steamer arc. That's hilarious. You're just stuck in the ghost, doing the ghost ship over and over and over again. Oh my god, I'm calling that the Groundhog Day disc. That is hilarious. Yeah, that's right, Grandia fan. I probably should have given you a line to say back to Bull, but I thought we were reaching just having Scott come in, so I didn't want to overreach it, but it's okay. Hey, we can always do something else. Don't worry, guys.
Well, yeah, each interview is going to get more intricate as you get more people too. So.
Well, yeah, because for me, I've always got a plan. I'm always a dreamer. I'm always working on my next thing. I'm never satisfied. For me, and it's certainly no coincidence that this year's the 25th anniversary. Because it started oh yeah, I just thought I'll find one, and I found Sharon Coleman, and I was like, oh well, that's cool. I got to find one, and now it's sort of spiraled. Okay, let me just have a look at my list here. Yeah, we're getting near to the end here, by the way, just so you know. Okay, so a couple more questions. Would you like to do more fan engagement? For example, charity signings, playing the game online / streaming it, going to conventions / expos, as, hey, I'm Feena from Grandia.
Yes, I would totally do that.
That's awesome. I'll definitely help put you in touch with some people. Well, I'm working on some stuff right now. I mean, at the moment, we're still at the tail end of this pandemic, unfortunately. So conventions aren't really as big as they could be at the moment. But hopefully, maybe this summer, if not next summer, the conventions will be coming back, and I think we could definitely make something happen. That'd be a dream of mine, or even just to at least help someone else organise it. Because remember, guys, I am in England here, so kind of difficult organising. Angela streaming the game. I would subscribe like lightning and donate. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would. Like, yeah, ever wanted to do that? Like, yeah. Do you actually own the HD remaster of the game?
That I don't. I don't have the Switch.
That's it. You can also get it on Steam, which is like the platform for playing it on computers.
Oh.
Like, do you have like a
I might have to
relatively,
invest in it.
do you have like a decent home computer?
Yes.
I can definitely. I think it just came off sale. Unfortunately, it was 50% off, but I think it's still only like $15 or something like that. I'll totally. If you're interested in getting it, I'll send you the link for that.
Is there a streaming version of it?
The way that you'd stream it, basically, what I'd recommend is this. Would be get the version on Steam, the HD remaster, and then you'd have to like get this thing called OBS Studio, which is what I use like to broadcast, what a lot of people use to broadcast, and then you just like do it on. You can do it on Twitch, you could do it on YouTube, you can do it on Facebook Gaming. There's lots of options. I can totally show you how to do all of that. The only other option would be if you got an emulator, and then you could play the original either Sega Saturn version or the PS1 version. But I'll tell you right now, there's barely any difference between the PS1 version and the HD remaster, other than the remaster looks clearer, and they fixed the magic glitch with Feena, so you can actually learn her super spells.
Oh, nice. I have the HP Chromebook 360, which is supposed to be great for gaming.
That should be fine for HD remaster. I think it's like 3.5 gigabytes, I think, the size of the game. There's people in the chat that probably know more than me when it comes to the HD version, because I pretty much have only played the PlayStation version.
I'm not much of a gamer these days. That is true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true, Scoop. Everyone seems to be like in or near California. Like, you know, as far as the Grandia cast goes, like you all seem to be around California, you know, nearabouts. It's probably because that's where they did the recording, right?
Yes.
And yeah, that's right, Grandia fan. If the voice actor who did Aerith in FF7 remake can stream it, then maybe Angela can. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Or maybe what I was thinking of doing, you know, maybe down the road was another thing you might not be aware of, actually. The PS1 version of the game actually has been modded by fans. The most popular one by far is called Redux, where they've actually gone in and they've fixed a load of spells. They've made the game a lot harder. You have to like, because the original Grandia is extremely easy. Is one of its only downfalls. It's very easy, and there's a couple of exploits where you can really make it easy for yourself. This guy's gone in and like completely redone the game from the ground up, so it's like it's still the core game. It hasn't like changed the story or anything, but it's made it a lot tougher, and you have to really think about like your moves and stuff. So I was thinking of streaming that. Maybe if I do that, maybe I'll get you and maybe some castmates to hop on every now and then, just like say hello, be like, hey guys. Okay. Grandia speedruns. I'm not doing a speedrun. I'm not speedrunning it. Okay, I think we're pretty much getting towards the end here. I'm just going to do a quick run through my list here just to check I haven't missed anything. Lines, creative input. Good. Glad I checked. Do you remember what your relationship was like with the directors, like the sound director and the producers? Like, do you remember any names or anything like that?
I don't remember their names. I know it was just two people on the other side of the sound studio, and I know that I almost broke their eardrums.
What was it like? Because I know most of the other people only went in for like one day and did all of the characters' lines in one day. Do you remember doing it all in one day, or was it over a week? Or
Yes, it was all in one day. Took about 2 hours, I'd say.
you work fast. Damn. Oh, wow. I'm just going to throw a couple of names at you, and if you could just tell me if they ring a bell. These are some directors and producers that worked on Grandia, or at least they're in the credits. Perry Rogers, Buzz Burrows, Tom Myers, Gary Rydstrom.
Again, I don't remember anybody's names.
That's okay. I was just hoping.
I know there was a female in the room, and I didn't see any female names on there. But it was a male and a female that were.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. Obviously, I'm asking you to remember like 25 years ago, so that's okay. Do you remember like Japan having much of an influence on the recording process when you were there? Did you see anyone who was Japanese, maybe, or do you know if they were on the phone with Game Arts over in Japan at the time?
I believe the female was Japanese.
That would make sense. Yeah, the way they usually do these things is that they'll send someone to like oversee, and they'll like know, like usually from what I've gathered. Okay, just going through my list here. Done all that. Bit of an open-ended thing, but is there anything that I haven't asked that you thought I was going to? Do you think I've missed anything here, Angela?
I don't know. I think everything is pretty thorough there. Somebody says the English actors weren't given enough direction. Part of that, I think, is true. Also too, just because it was a newer thing then. I don't even, the people that were doing the directing had never done it before.
Yeah.
So I would say that might be part of it.
Yeah, because like, a lot of people do like hate on like 90s games for cheesy voice acting. Like the first Resident Evil game. Oh my god, that voice acting. But it's not necessarily the actor's fault. It usually is a lack of direction because no one really knew what they were doing back then. You have to realize that, guys.
Yeah, like the one of Lily's lines when she says, the rules of it's like Seagull restaurant. It's like, why does it sound like that? That's not. Sounds like she's choking when she says Seagull restaurant. But that was, I think it's just like a glitch in the editing of the voice on that.
I can't see I ever noticed that. I'll have to go back and listen to that. Seagull. Now I'm going to notice it now that you've pointed it out.
Now you're going to notice it every time. You're going to be like, why is that like that?
Oh, there's a good. Yeah, I like your "Oh Flame Burnham." Do you think you could give us that line? Do you think you could give us that in the chat? Because Flash Overlord has sadly missed most of the interview.
Oh Flame Burnham.
Oh yeah. You see, there you go, Flash. Don't worry that you're late. Don't worry, I'll still do something for you. There's a good fit. All right, everyone in the chat, come on. Any Feena lines, any Feena or Lilly lines that you want. This is the time to do it. We'll call this like the final 5-10 minutes, if that's okay with you, Angela.
Sure.
That's brilliant. Yeah, we'll get into about the 90-minute mark. I find that's usually about the right time. Always leave them wanting more, right?
That's right.
Do you remember? Oh, wind, blow 'em away.
Oh, wind, blow 'em away.
Yep. I feel bad here. Like I'm just like putting coins in you. Just like say this, say that.
Please protect us.
Yeah. Drop back. This has made my year. I just want to say this has made my year. She isn't a vending machine there. I know. I just said I feel bad.
It's like pulling the string out of the back of the doll.
Oh, here's a good one. Don't think you can get away.
Don't think you can get away.
Oh my god, this is so much fun. I honestly feel like I'm dreaming right now. Oh, what did she say for End of the World? That's a good question. I don't remember that.
Oh, is that the Spirit of Grey? I think. Oh, Spirit of Grey, use the furious flame to crush evil into dust.
Yep, that is the line. Use the flame to crush evil into dust. Like, I remember the dust was like really like given a lot of emphasis. Any way to send tips to the interviewee? Tips to me? I probably should have thought of a tips link. I should have thought about this.
Wait, are you talking monetary tips or are you talking advice? Because actually, I could use both.
If anyone wants to do that, oh wait, I know what I could do. I know anyone who wants to send like tips to support either myself and the channel, or if you want to send some over to Angela. Mods, could you please put my Discord link? I've turned off the Stream Elements bot, so you're gonna have to go and get the link. I'm gonna have to do this myself. Just as I'm saying it, I've realized I'm gonna have to do this myself. Just bear with me here. Sorry about this, Angela. Feel free to just keep saying Feena lines while I'm just doing this. It'll just take me a minute.
Send your money to the charity of your choice. I appreciate that.
I am planning a charity thing, hopefully in the summer. I am planning a Grandia related thing, so don't worry about that. But I will post my Discord link if anyone wants to like come and help support the channel. It doesn't have to be with money. It can be just by getting involved and following. Feel free. Now, where is the... Alright, here we go. Invite members. Set link to never expire. Share link. Bing, bang, bong. I should have had all this set up beforehand. But the problem is if I set up the Twitch bot to like do it automatically, then it does a few other things automatically. Like, so I figured, right, it's best just to not have it at all. Okay, I got it. Okay, there is my...
Justin's voice still is a mystery, for sure.
Yeah, the only name I have for Justin is Snazen Smith, and even that, it doesn't sound like a real name. Like, there was a video of him apparently, and it sounded like him, and I remember seeing a video, but yeah, if I ever find Justin, Gadwin, or Rap, yeah, I'll lose my mind. Like, but yeah, there is my Discord link if anyone wants to help support the channel. The other way you can help support is just by hitting that follow button, subscribing if you really want to subscribe. You can get emotes and stuff, and also the YouTube. The biggest thing, this video, with your blessing, Angela, it will be uploaded to my YouTube if that's okay.
That is okay.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And if you go to my YouTube, it's exactly the same name, Davey Valentine, spelled with a Y. You will also find my previous interview with Sharon Coleman, voice of Liette and Milda, and Blaney Aikman, the voice of Sue and Saki. And they're both pretty much exactly the same setup as these interviews. Thank you very much for subscribing, I will scoop. Mullen at least has a name. Mullen has a name I can go. I think I can find Mullen. Mullen's like, when I next get into my detective mode, I'm probably going to hopefully try and find Mullen. We'll see. I digress.
Well, on that note, I got a great Lily line here. Come on, I have work to do. Out you go.
Oh, shiz, we got people gifting subs left and right here. Our hype train is close. If anyone wants to sub or gift or use bits, now is the time. I've never had one of these before. I've honestly never had one of these on Twitch before. I've never had a hype train. I don't know how they work, but thank you so much, everyone. Like, yeah, if you want to support, now's the time to do it. Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks, guys. Damn, I really don't want this to end, but like I'm sort of like out of questions here. Like, was there any special like any anecdotes or any stories that you maybe want to tell us about? I know I'm reaching here.
I think we pretty much covered them all already.
Ah, that's real cool.
How I met Scott and how it all came about, and
yeah. So meeting your husband, that had nothing to do with Grandia, right? This was before Grandia.
Yes, that was before.
Yeah. But then that's where you met Scott, and Scott was who led to getting Grandia. So that's really cool.
Yes. Cool.
Okay. Hype train is close. If anyone will do a final little call out here, we'll say this like the final 2 minutes here, guys. Okay. This is because this is the part where as soon as I like finish the interview, I will think of like 10 questions and it'll be like, oh, God damn it. But well, we all know. Oh wait, here's one. Did you know anything about the game or the story when doing the voice? I think we sort of asked that before. Like, yeah, but when you were doing the voices, like, did you have the full script of the game, or did you just have your lines?
They didn't give us the full script. They just told us the kind of the basics of what it was and what the character was. That they said that Feena is the head of the Adventure Society, and she's a master of whips. Is how I was told that was.
she's not the head of the Adventure Society. That's Packen.
She's vice president or something like that.
She's the star of the Adventure Society, but that's only because Snot-Nosed Packen fancies her.
Yeah.
Did you ever think? I mean, you remember that scene in the game? You know how Packen like kidnaps her and tries to marry her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you ever think like Packen really should have had a voice?
He really should have. I think that would have been hilarious to have somebody do that.
In before anyone suggests I do it, I am not being Packen, all right? of all the characters that I could voice,
it's acting. It would just be acting.
I guess I could try a Packen. Too late. Do your best, Packen. Okay. Let's try and do a little bit. No, you have to say you are Mr. Packen's servant. Yup. And he always had snot coming out of his nose. So.
Yeah.
Ah, Feena, today we shall be married. Nah, I can't. I'm not a voice actor, guys. It's not my gig. Although I do have an idea for like I'll tell you this off the stream. I don't want to say it in front of people, but I do have an idea of something that would involve me being a voice. But all I would be is like sort of like the background person, so that you guys have something to talk about. Let's say if we got you and maybe another Grandia cast member or two to do a little thing. But I'll tell you about that another time.
Sounds good.
Italian packets.
To go with Guido.
Yeah, Feena does have some funny lines. Didn't they ever ask you to? Because you know when Feena's like tied up and he's trying to marry her, but she's like got a bloody white gag over her face, like, and she's like, like, I'm surprised they didn't get you to voice that. But
they probably did, and it was probably cut.
Oh man, that is the big shame. Because of the PS1's limitations, they had to cut like probably a lot, like, which is why they really need to remake it or remaster it properly. But who knows? Okay, cool. That little hype train thing's ended. I don't know whether I needed to keep that going or something, but anyway. Okay, I think we will wrap it up here. So thank you very much, Angela. Thank you so much for your time. On behalf of all of the Grandia fandom, I thank you.
Thank you for having me on, and thank you to everyone for listening.
And yeah, this is the time to say goodbye, and thank you everyone in chat if you want to say goodbye. Now is the time, chat. Don't worry, we will be doing a lot more of these. And to everyone who's listening to this, whether it's live on Twitch right now or if you're watching it on YouTube, please do come and support the channel so that I can, do more of this, because I do have great plans and ideas for the 25th anniversary. This is the year to do it. The voice actors are still around. I'm going to keep finding them. So if you really want to support, the best thing to do is just go subscribe to the YouTube, follow on the Twitch, and support anytime, any way you need to. You don't need to send money. You don't have to. If you want to, that's really great, and it really does help. But just support and get the word out, okay? Tell everyone. The Grandia fandom needs to unite. We need to, all get together, and we can make really great things happen. Trust me, Less than a year ago, no one had spoken to any of the voice cast. We've now spoken to nearly half of them, So, trust me. Okay, my little ad-lib is over. Is there anything you want to say at the end to anyone, Angela?
Just thank you again, everyone. I appreciate you.
That's brilliant. We appreciate you. All right, well, I will hang up the call here. I'll keep the stream going just for a few minutes afterwards, but thank you very much, Angela, and you take care. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll be in touch.
You as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Well, that was entertaining.